In this video, we're going to talk about solving one-step equations. First, the vocabulary. The addition property of equalities in words says adding the same number to each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. In algebra, we say if x minus a equals b, then x minus a plus a equals b plus a, or x equals b plus a. The subtraction property of equality says subtracting the same number to each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. In algebra, we say if x plus a equals b, then x plus a minus a equals b minus a, or x equals b minus a. The multiplication property of equality. In words, we say multiplying each side of an equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. In algebra, we say if x divided by a equals b and a does not equal 0, then a times x divided by a equals b times a, or x equals a times b. The division property of equality. Dividing each side of an equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. In algebra, we say if a times x equals b, and a does not equal 0, then ax divided by a equals b divided by a, or x equals b divided by a. In general, the golden rule of algebra says do unto one side of the equation what you do to the other. Example 1. Solve an equation using subtraction. Solve x plus 7 equals 4. First thing we're going to do is just rewrite the equation. So we have x plus 7 equals 4. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. We're going to subtract 7, subtract 7. This 7 cancels out. So we're going to be left with x equals 4 minus 7. And then last but not least, x equals 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. If you want to double check our solution, we just plug in negative 3 plus 7 equals 4. And negative 3 plus 7 does happen to be 4. So 4 is equal to 4, and we check out, we're good. Example 2, solve an equation using addition. So we're going to solve x minus 12 equals 3. So our first step is just rewrite the original equation. So that's going to be x minus 12 equals 3. Next step, we're going to add 12 to both sides. So add 12, add 12. And we're going to be left with x equals 3 plus 12. And 3 plus 12 happens to be 15. So x equals 15. To check, we just plug in 15 for x. So 15 minus 12 equals 3. And 15 minus 12 happens to be 3. So 3 equals 3. And we check out again. Example 3, solve an equation using division. We're asked to solve negative 6x equals 48. So again, first step, just write the equation. So just write negative 6x equal to 48. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to divide everything by negative 6. The negative 6 cancels. So we're left with x equals 48 divided by negative 6. And 48 divided by negative 6 is going to be negative 8. Plug it back into the original equation. Negative 6 times negative 8 equals 48. And negative 6 times negative 8 is going to be 48. So 48 is equal to 48. And we check out. Example 4. Solve an equation using multiplication. We're going to be asked to solve x minus x divided by 4 equals 5. So first step, just rewrite the original equation. So we have x over 4 equals 5. We're going to multiply both sides by 4. The 4 is going to cancel. So we're left with x equals 5 times 4. And 5 times 4 is 20. So x equals 20. To double check, we just plug in the original equation. So we're going to plug in 20 divided by 4. And we'll see that equals 5. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So we end up with 5 equals 5 on both sides, and we check out. Example 5. Solve an equation by multiplying by reciprocal. We're being asked to solve negative 2/7 x equals 4. So again, first step is just rewrite the original equation. So we have negative 2/7 x equals 4. Recall the reciprocal of a number is just you flip the fraction. So we're going to multiply both sides by negative 7 halves times negative 7 halves. The left side cancels. So we'll be left with x equals 4 times negative 7 halves. Recall 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. So we just multiply straight across and simplify. So x equals 4 times negative 7 is going to be negative 28. 1 times 2 is 2. And we can go one step farther. Negative 28 divided by 2 is going to be negative 14. And we have our final answer. We can double check by plugging into our original equation. So we're going to do negative 2/7 times negative 14. And we're going to see if that equals 4. Recall 14 be the same thing as 14 over 1. And negative 2 times negative 14 is going to be a positive 28 over 7. And 28 over 7, or 28 divided by 7 is 4. So 4 equals 4, and we check out. And example 6. Write and solve an equation. In the 2004 Olympics, Sean Crawford won the 200-meter dash. His winning time was 19.79 seconds. Find his average speed to the nearest tenth of a meter per second. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our equation. So remember, distance equals rate times time. So my distance in this equation is 200. We're looking for his average speed, so that's what we're looking for, our rate. And we know our time is 19.79. Next step, we're going to divide everything by 19.79. So we have left with R equals 200 divided by 19.79. And if we divide 200 divided by 19.79, we end up with 10.1 approximately equal to R. So our rate would be 10.1 meters per second. Sometimes you'll see that written as 10.1 meters per second. And we are done example 5. Hopefully this helps you understand how to solve one-step equations. We'll see in the next video where we talk about solving two-step equations.